All right, thank you. Welcome back. Your next witness.
You swear or affirm the testimony you shall give the court and the jury in the trial of this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Oh, okay, yes, sir, it is.
Please state your first and last name and spell your last name loudly, clearly.
My name is Pierre Fulton, Fulton.
How you doing, Mr. Fulton?
I'm doing excellent today.
Good. First of all, let's tell the jury a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 30 years old,
And where'd you grow up?
North Charleston.
Your whole life?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have your GED?
Yes, ma'am.
You working now?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
What kind of job you have?
I work at a warehouse.
What's the name of that warehouse?
It's called Brown Distribution.
What kind of stuff or what kind of warehouse is it?
Basically, they deal with all type of products like rolls, tissue rolls. We drive like forklifts or roll clamps, things like that.
Okay. Now, what do you do there at the distribution center?
They distribute Mercedes-Benz also, Sprinter vans.
So
So,
from toilet paper to Sprinter vans?
yes, ma'am.
All right. So what do you do with the Mercedes?
What they basically do, they have rail cars. So they load them on the rail cars, and I basically open up all the doors and then make sure I have all the ramps down and basically prepare everybody for the Mercedes-Benz to get on-side train.
Okay. And how long have you been at Brown Distribution?
About 2 years.
And is that where you met Walter Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. Did he work there with you?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
Now, were y'all employees of the distribution center or a temp company?
We went through a temp.
And you and Walter are around the same age?
No, ma'am.
You're 30.
And he's about 50, about 50.
What kind of work did he do for Brown's?
He drove the roll clamps.
Tell the jury what a roll clamp is.
Roll clamps basically, it's not like a forklift. The forklifts have like two forks on it, and they pick things up like that. The roll clamp is like more circular, and then they grab the roll and they pick it up like that.
And how did you and Walter get to be friends?
Basically, I mean, working there, sometimes we have breaks, we'll sit and talk. At the time, I didn't have a vehicle, so, he would take me home.
And when he would take you home, what kind of car did he drive usually?
He had like a van.
And at some point, did he change cars?
He was having problems with that van. I think it was a transmission problems. He always had to keep putting oil inside it, and it was like putting, so.
And you mentioned that he would give you a ride home. Did you live near Walter?
I live in North Charleston. I think he lived on Dorchester Road, so Remount Road is, it's not in the same, area. So he went out his way to take me home.
Did you pay?
Yeah, I paid him gas money. I know, it ain't, gas ain't free,
Yeah.
So,
So you paid sometimes for the rides?
yeah, I appreciate it.
Now, did you ever visit at Walter's house?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And where did he live?
He lived on Dorchester Road.
Who do you live with?
He lived with his, I'm gonna say his fiance, because he talked about her a lot, and then his son.
And let's go to the week before Walter was killed. Did you go over to his house
After work one day, we went to his house and we drank. Yeah.
And, did you do cocaine?
No, never.
Did you,
I never heard him ever talk about doing drugs.
okay. Did you, see anything going on with regards to his car?
Between him and his neighbor, they had a title, and they was talking about, doing a deal for
Was
him.
that week that you went over there?
That was around the same time.
Okay. And so you had met his neighbor before?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, on that Saturday, y'all didn't work on Saturdays, right?
No, he didn't work, Monday through Friday.
Did you spend Friday night with him?
No, I did not Friday night.
When was the next time you were set to see Walter?
I ended up seeing him Saturday morning, very early in the morning, actually. He texted me.
What was he texting you for? What were y'all planning to do?
A friend that I know told me about this food bank at the church on Remont Road. And what we was planning to do was we were going to have a cookout, but he was going to take me to the food bank. We was going to go there.
Okay. And you said he texted you. Was your number 843-209-8581?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what happened? Did he come pick you up?
Yes, ma'am, he did. He texted me maybe, I don't know, like 6 in the morning, I believe. And he came there maybe around like 7 because we wanted to be there before 8 o'clock before they have a long line.
Was it 8 o'clock, or are you sure about that?
We wanted to be at the place, I think, before 8 o'clock.
Okay. Now, did y'all go straight to the church after he picked you up?
Did we go straight to the church no, when he picked me up, we went to Hardee's. He wanted to get something to eat.
Did you get anything to eat?
Not at Hardee's, no, ma'am.
And where'd y'all go after you went to Hardee's?
Then we went straight to the food bank, the church called Faith on Remont Road.
All right. And when you got to the Faith Church, did you see anybody there that you knew?
Yeah, I saw the guy that told me about the food bank.
And that was, what was his name?
His name is Glenn, actually.
Do you know if Walter saw anybody that he knew at the church?
Yeah, he saw a lady. I think he told me that was his uncle's girlfriend or fiance, or he was talking to her in there, actually.
Now, did y'all get groceries there?
Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, they gave us a ticket with the number on it, and we had to sit there. So while we were sitting there, he was talking to the lady, and then we ended up filling out the application, and then we got the food.
And I think in your application, you mentioned that you had some dependents or some people
Yeah, I
living
put
with you, or?
yeah, I put my niece and I put my sister on there because I know that they would come get some food from me, or I would share the food with them.
At the cookout, or where?
Or at the food bank.
No, but if you were gonna share the food with them, where were you gonna share this food?
Or when they come over, or when I see them.
Had you ever been to the food bank before?
I've never been there before. That was the first time.
Have you been there since?
No, I haven't been since. Not after this situation, man.
All right. So what kind of food was it? Did you know before you got there what you would be getting?
He told me it would be some meat, but I didn't know exactly all what it was going to be.
All right. Eventually, did you get a bag of food?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did Walter Scott get a bag?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
All right. And what y'all set out to do after that?
After we came from the food bank, I went to go drop my food off. I lived on Garrett Street.
And then what?
And then we was headed to his home to drop his food off.
And what happened?
Basically, before we got over the railroad track on Remont Road, he was like, man, are they pulling me? And I was like texting in my phone, and I just looked up on the side mirror, and I see the blue lights. And I'm like, oh, yeah, man. And the next thing you know, he pulled over. That was like AutoZone. He pulled over, and the officer came out, and they start talking. I remember Walter giving his license to him.
Was there anything unusual about that part of the stop?
No, ma'am.
Walter gave his license?
He pulled over immediately, and he gave him his license.
What about Walter's phone? Did he have his phone that day?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
Did you see him making any calls at any point?
Yes, he did. He was call. I didn't know exactly who he was calling. I thought it was his girlfriend or fiance. That's what I was thinking he was calling.
And was that
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if he ever talked to anybody on the phone while you were in the car?
No, he never talked to anybody else.
Now, you mentioned that he gave the officer his license. What about the registration?
They was talking about it, but I kind of was still like looking at my phone. But I hear him talking like, I already saw that, that a couple of days before or a week before that his neighbor and him, they was talking about the title. So I already saw that. So I'm thinking he was explaining that was going on, that he was.
You weren't paying that close of attention.
No, I was still like texting in my phone. I didn't
You
even
were
never
texting
talk to the
some
police.
ladies.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I was
You
single.
were
I'm
texting
single.
ladies in the church.
Yes, ma'am.
They were asking you, why you texting me and why you in church listening to the preacher, right?
I mean, we was waiting on to get the food at the time, but
When anybody preaching.
no, ma'am.
All right, so your mind wasn't on the officer involved.
No, ma'am.
Did you see Walter get out the car?
Yes, ma'am. But it looked like he wanted to ask a question, and then I think the officer, I believe he told him to get back in because he got back in.
All right, so he got out one time and then stepped back in, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened then?
And then the next thing you know, he was out the door
Out the door doing what?
running.
Why?
That's a question I would like to ask him. But unfortunately, he's not here. He was murdered.
All right, so he didn't tell you he was gonna run?
No, ma'am.
You had no idea why?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see what the officer did?
Saw the officer running. I was like sitting here. I could see the officer running from this side.
After Walter?
Yeah, after Walter.
So at that point, you're sitting in the front passenger seat, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The officer who stopped him's gone.
Yes, ma'am.
Walter's gone.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you go?
There is no reason for me to go.
You stayed right there with the Mercedes.
Yes, ma'am.
Never got out and ran.
Yes, ma'am. I was shocked about the whole situation because that day wasn't supposed to go like that.
Could you see where Walter and the officer ran?
I mean, they ran down the street, and after a while, I couldn't see. I couldn't see them anymore.
Did you hear anything?
I heard a taser. Like maybe when they was running, he shot the taser at them.
You could hear that in the background?
Yes, ma'am.
After that, did you hear anything?
Eventually, after a while, I ended up hearing a lot of gunshots. In the beginning, I didn't know that was gunshots. And I keep hearing it some more, and I'm like, that's gunshots. And I'm like, what?
Did you put that with Walter and the officer?
I wasn't thinking, I never put that together, that was Walter getting shot.
Okay. And so you hear that sound, and then what do?
He had cigarettes in there. I actually grabbed one of his cigarettes and I lighted up and smoked it at the time.
You just waiting.
Yeah, I'm sitting there
What are
waiting.
you
I know the
waiting on?
police about to come.
Okay.
Now the police about to come.
All right. Did you ever see, after Walter took off running, did you see his phone and his wallet anymore?
I never saw his phone in the wallet anymore.
What happened when officers finally come back?
They came, I didn't get to finish smoking the cigarette. They told me to drop the cigarette.
Was that the same officer who had
Pulled
gone
us
after
o-
Walter?
No, it was not. It was another officer that came.
Drove up?
Yeah, he drove up.
Okay. And he told you to put the cigarette
Yeah,
out?
told me to put the cigarette out. Basically, put my hands up and turn around. And he started frisking me, searching me, and asked me if I had any drugs on me or any weapons.
Did you have any drugs on?
I didn't have no drugs or no weapons.
You had your phone?
Yes, ma'am. I called my mother while I was smoking a cigarette. I tried to call my mother.
28 years old, you calling your mama?
Yeah, I called my mother, man. My mother's my backbone, man, I love my mother.
All right, so, did you get her on the phone?
No, I didn't get her on the phone, so the next person was my sister.
Did you get her?
I didn't get her on the phone, but the phone was ringing at the time. The police officer was frisking me.
What happened with your phone?
They took my phone.
What'd they do with you?
They put me in the back seat.
How long were you in the back seat?
Whew, for a long time. Thinking about it now, Lord.
Did you have any clue of what had happened to Walter?
No, ma'am.
Where did the officers first take you?
They took me down to their, I guess, the city hall, I believe that's what it was. They took me down there.
They questioned you?
At that time, they didn't question me. They brought me down there. I was there for a little while, and then I believe they got a call, and then they brought me back to the scene of the crime, and I believe Sled wanted to talk to me at the time.
So you go to City Hall, you come back to
What-
Greenmount Road,
Yes, ma'am.
Advanced Auto Parts,
Yes, ma'am.
you talk to Sled?
That's when I found out that Walter Scott was killed, and I didn't really want to talk to them. I didn't want to
You
talk.
were kind of a jerk after that, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
You remember saying over and over, everything was positive, now it's negative,
Yes, ma'am.
over and over?
Yes, ma'am. I just don't believe, you know.
Well, let's not get into what you believe.
Right.
You didn't want to talk to him after you found out Walter had been killed.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you a few exhibits. States 219, 220, 221, 222, and 23. And I want to just give a look through those.
Okay.
Just look at them all at once.
Yeah, that's definitely the fool.
No, let's not. We got to do this in kind of an.
Oh, okay.
You recognize those photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
In each one of them, are they fair and accurate photos of the car that day and the contents of the car that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And then states 235, you remember this one?
It's my phone.
Never got this back?
No, I haven't.
You've looked at it in my office, right?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, if we could show state, well, you're on read off for states 219 through 223 in evidence, without objection. Believe without objection, Your Honor.
Any objection? Admitted without objection.
So states 219, what is that?
That's the vehicle Walter Scott was driving.
And you were in the
The door-
passenger side?
Yes, with the door that's open. I was on that side.
States 220. And if we could zoom in, can you zoom, please? Maybe. If this bag, brown paper bag, right there, do you recognize that brown paper bag?
That's the Hardy's bag, ma'am.
And was that from y'all
That-
trip to Hardee's that morning?
Yes, ma'am.
And states 222. That bag in the back seat, what is that?
That's the bag from the food bank, ma'am.
States 223. What's that?
Carrots and the oranges in the bag from the food bank, ma'am.
So y'all got carrots, oranges from the food bank?
Beans, rice, we got a lot of things that day. Meat.
What kind of meat?
I don't know if it was a steak or not, but I've been a while ago.
And going back to the text
Yes, ma'am.
Would it refresh your recollection as to what he texted you that morning? You looked at it?
Yes. Can look at it right now.
And that states what? The red stamp on the back? With
Ma'am?
The red stamp on the back?
Right, State's Exhibit 235.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Can you see, or can you tell the jury what he texted you?
Yes, ma'am. This is April 4th. He said, "Yo, you up?" I said, "Hell yeah." He said, "I just got up, about to clean up and roll on you."
He said that to you?
That's what he said to me. And I said, "Bet." And then after that, he was saying he was outside.
Mr. Fulton, I will ask you to look at States 236 and ask you if it would refresh your recollection as to the times that you got these texts.
Okay.
His number was 843-642-7609.
I believe so. I haven't had my phone since. Yeah, 642-7609.
Okay. So at 8:07, and there's a text from that number that says outside.
Yes, ma'am.
What was that your signal for?
Outside, that he was outside.
To pick you
To
up?
pick me up,
Okay,
yes.
so you had testified earlier 7, so it looked like maybe it was more
Okay,
like 8.
okay, yes, ma'am.
8:07?
807, okay.
And from there, y'all went to Hardee's?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we offer telephone evidence, I believe, that you got a new phone by now. right?
Yes, ma'am, I do. It's in my pocket.
States 235.
Any objection? No, Admitted.
That's all I have. Mr. Savage, do you need the phone off? I'm just gonna turn it off. Good.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fuller.
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I don't believe I've met you before or spoken to you before, is that correct?
No, you haven't. Yes, sir.
Just wanted to ask you about some things that you observed that day, perhaps some things you observed before that day. So I understand you met Mr. Scott when? I don't understand when you met him, so let me ask the question. When did you meet Mr. Scott?
I met him when I was working, when I'm working at Brown's Distribution. I think it was around January, I believe.
Of the year before, 2 years before?
No, that same year.
So did you know him prior to that day?
No, sir, I didn't.
Do you know anything about his work history, his background?
He talked about being inside the military.
Do you know anything about his background other than he was in the military at one time?
I think he talked about child support before.
And you know anything about his work,
I knew what he was doing at that job, sir.
When you worked together with him, right?
Yes, sir.
You had the round forklift, you had the, right? So did
Yes,
you
sir.
know where he worked prior to his engagement at that?
No, sir, I didn't.
Now, were you a temporary worker?
Yes, sir.
And was he a temporary worker?
Yes, sir.
So
It's like
did-
temp to perm.
Yeah, so you didn't actually work for the warehouse, you worked for an agency that placed you at the warehouse.
Yes, sir.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
And on this particular day, you had planned to party, your words?
Have a cookout, sir.
Cookout. And who was going to attend that cookout?
It was gonna be me, him, and, I mean, I don't know who all else was gonna be there, but
Who did you invite?
I didn't invite anyone, sir.
And who did Walter tell you he invited?
He was gonna, people that lived with him, you know.
But he didn't tell you who was going to be at the party and what the activities were going to be?
No, sir, I mean, you can like decide to put food on a grill and then go from there, sir.
Okay, and what type of food were you going to put on the grill?
Some of the food that we got from the food bank.
Certainly not the oranges.
No, sir, I hope not.
So what were you going to?
We had meat inside that bag too, sir.
And what type of meat was that?
I believe it was a steak, sir.
Now, in getting the food that morning, you had never been to that food bank.
No, sir.
Were you aware that it was a federal distribution for food?
I didn't know in the beginning.
And did you know it was a distribution of food for the meat?
Yes, sir.
And you considered yourself needy that morning?
Yes, sir.
And you filled out an application for emergency food assistance?
Yes, sir.
And when did you first tell the solicitor that you had done that?
When did I told her that?
Yes.
The first time we met, I don't know, remember the exact day that we met.
And
When I first made my statement with my lawyer, I told him the same thing
when did you first tell the solicitor?
about us going to the food bank, sir.
About filling out a federal application for emergency food assistance.
When I first met her, sir.
And what month and year was that?
I can't remember which month it was, sir.
Was it this year?
Yes, sir, it was this year.
And how many times have you met with the solicitor to prepare your testimony that you gave to the jury?
She didn't, no, prepare, sir. It was just the truth. That's what happened.
And how many times did you meet with her to prepare for this day?
To prepare for this day, sir.
Yes.
There wasn't no preparation, sir,
What was the purpose of meeting her?
to explain to her what happened.
And how many times did you do that?
Twice?
You sure?
Yes, sir.
And on the day of this incident, you were in the car that you've identified. Were you sitting in the front seat or the rear seat?
I was in the passenger, sir, and that's in the
So if
front.
somebody had testified earlier today that you were in the back seat, that would have been wrong.
Yes, sir.
You look in the glove box in that car.
No, sir. That's not my car, sir.
Do you know what was in the glove box in that car?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you get a chance to see Mr. Scott's phone that day?
When he was trying to make a call, sir, yes.
If you would describe that phone to the jury.
I believe it was a black phone, sir. It wasn't white or no other color. It was black. That's what I remember.
And did it have a screen on it?
Yes, sir.
And what did the screen look like?
Like a screen, sir.
Did it look like it had been broken?
I can't remember if it was broken, but I mean, that happens.
And if it had been broken and had, say, yellow paint on it, would you have remembered that?
If it had yellow paint, I don't remember if it had yellow paint on it, sir.
And do you remember whether the screen was cracked and smashed?
No, sir, I don't remember it being cracked, being cracked, sir.
If the phone had been cracked and smashed, you would remember.
If it was,
Yes.
sir, I don't know where you're going at with this, sir.
Well, where I'm going at is you said that you observed the phone, and I would like to know when you saw it, whether it was cracked or smashed, or perhaps that happened after you saw it.
Oh, wow, sir. You asked me what color it was?
No, I asked you
Oh,
what
okay.
condition it was in.
Sir, I didn't see nothing but the phone being cracked or smashed or anything like that.
We're good.
Okay.
Now, you had indicated, I believe, to the solicitor that you did not know that Mr. Scott had died that day, or even was shot that day.
When?
Until you returned from City Hall. Is that correct?
SLED. I talked to SLED, sir.
And you talked to Sled when you came back from City Hall?
Yes, sir.
So when you were at City Hall, you did not know what-
That he was murdered. I did not know that.
You did not know.
No, sir.
And so at that time, you had no reason not to cooperate with the authorities.
When I talked to SLED, because we went down to City Hall, I didn't talk to the officers then, sir, because they called me back to go to talk to SLED.
When you left the Mercedes vehicle,
Yes, sir.
placed in a patrol car,
Yes, sir.
you were actually placed in the front seat, correct?
Leaving back from City Hall, yes, sir.
And going to City Hall.
Yes, sir. No, not going to City Hall, going to the scene of the crime to talk to SLED. They was there on Remont Road.
When you left to go to City Hall, you sat in the front of the car, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you got to City Hall, you did not know that Mr. Scott was deceased.
Hold on, sir. When I was inside the back seat, when the first police officer came, I was in the back seat. They rode me to City Hall. I was in the back seat. When I came from City Hall, I was in the front seat going to talk to SLED.
Did you know that Mr. Scott was dead when you went to City Hall?
No, sir. When I came back to talk to SLED, that's when I knew.
And the
They
reason
told
when
me.
you came back to talk to Sled is that you were upset because you had just learned that Mr. Scott was deceased.
And yes, and the guy and the officer in the back of the SLED was yelling like, tell me what you know. At the time I was like, he just told me that Walter Scott was dead. And I was sitting there, it was like surreal to me.
And that was several hours after you were with Mr. Scott. You were stopped, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Some 3, 4 hours later, 4 or 5 hours?
I don't know the exact amount of hours.
Well, you said that you sat in the patrol car for 2 hours, correct?
It could have been 1, 2 hours, it could have been. I didn't have my phone, I didn't have a watch on me at the time, so I don't know the exact time, to be
I'm
honest.
just confirming what you said to the solicitor, you sat in the back of the patrol car for 2 hours.
It could have been an hour, could have been 2 hours, could have felt like 2 hours.
And you went from there to City Hall.
Yes, sir.
How long were you at City Hall?
I wasn't there that long because they called to come back to SLED,
And then you went back to the incident.
talk to the SLED, and then they sent me back to City Hall.
All right, did you talk to any of the officers at the scene before you went anyplace, before you went anywhere?
One officer just asked me for my name.
And did the officer, was that the same officer who was first on the scene that you said that was searching?
The guy who asked for my name, that was another officer.
You remember the officer asking you who the driver was?
The officer who came and searched me and put me in the back of his vehicle, his squad car.
The second officer that interviewed you?
The second officer,
Yes.
He didn't interview me. He just asked me for my name. He just asked me for my name.
Do you remember the officer's name?
No, sir. He asked me for my name.
If you remember Officer Banis asking you who the driver was, and you said you didn't know the driver's name?
No, sir. I don't remember
Are you
that.
denying that?
I don't remember that, sir.
You don't remember, or you didn't say it?
If I don't remember it, I believe that I did not say that, sir.
You remember going to City Hall and being interviewed by several police officers, and one in particular on video
Yes, sir.
and audio.
It wasn't several. It was, I believe it was two in there. I believe it was one lady, I believe.
Did they mistreat you at all?
No, she didn't.
And did you cooperate with them?
They asked me some questions, and I told them about that the day was a great day. It was a positive day until it became negative when the officer killed my friend.
Do you remember on video being very aggressive with them and telling them you wouldn't want to talk to them under any circumstances?
I was feeling pretty bad about the officer, North Charleston officer, killing my friend. So,
Except you didn't know that at the time.
sir,
You didn't know that until you left City Hall and went back.
sir, we went to City Hall for a little while. We didn't go inside the investigation room. We went straight to SLAD, talked to SLAD. Then I went back to City Hall, and that's when I went in there, sir.
You refused to cooperate.
Yes, sir.
You had done nothing wrong.
I done nothing wrong, and I found out that my friend and my coworker was murdered by a North Charleston officer.
And the first officer on the scene asked you what happened, and you told him that you wanted to speak to your lawyer before you talked to anybody.
I do remember that.
Before you
And that's when they let me out to my-
anything, you weren't under investigation, you had nothing to worry about.
After I heard about the North Charleston officer killing my friend, I definitely needed a lawyer to represent me.
I'm talking about as soon as the police arrived at the AutoZone and talked to you for the very first time, you said you wanted a lawyer.
Sir, I said that when I went inside the investigation room, sir.
Yes, you did. But before that, on the scene, you told them you wanted to speak to your lawyer.
Oh, wow. I like you, Mr. Andy, but what you're saying right now, it doesn't add up.
So, this fellow right here, with both hands in the center of the first row, is your lawyer.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Are you under any threat of arrest or prosecution for your testimony today?
No, sir. I did this because I want the truth to be heard about what happened that morning, sir. That no drugs were involved in what we was doing.
And when you met with the solicitor, did you ever meet with the solicitor without your lawyer?
Yes, sir, I have one time, but I still talked to my lawyer before we even said anything.
But you're not in any trouble at all. There's no case pending against you.
There's certain things that I do not know about the law, and I would like a lawyer to let me know what's going on, sir.
There was nothing in the car that morning that you knew about that you felt you needed your lawyer to protect you from being asked about that.
Nothing in that car that I knew of, nothing that we did that morning. We didn't do anything, sir. There was nothing that I knew about in there.
Now, may I approach you on? You recognize this document?
Yes, sir. That's the application
Application
for the emergency food.
This is
that
the
we went-
application you signed the morning of April.
When we went to the food bank.
And on that application, does it ask for members of your household?
Can I see it again, sir? I mean, that's been about a year ago. I only see it one time. Okay.
And on that application for eligibility to have the emergency food, you were asked for the number of dependents you had.
Okay.
And those dependents are household.
Okay.
And did you list 2 dependents?
No, right here it said, looked like it's kind of scribbled out. Looked like it's 3 on this one, but it was a 2 before. But, yes, sir, I have 2 dependents written on here.
And who are those dependents?
It says Genesis, and it has Darisha.
And where did they live?
Genesis is my little niece. She lived with my sister, and Darisha is my little sister.
And where did she live?
She lived with my mother, actually.
Were any of those people you listed there members of your household?
No, sir, there wasn't.
And with the reason that you listed them?
The
as
reason why,
dependents-
the reason,
Excuse me. The reason you listed them as dependents was to be eligible to obtain the emergency food.
the reason why I listed them was because I know that I would share the food with them. And the eligibility is how much I was getting paid. I wasn't really getting paid that much, and I actually really needed the food at the time. 'Cause I just moved. My mother helped me get a 1-bedroom, and I was getting paid $8 at the time, to be honest with you, sir. And by taxes, taking the money, I was probably close to $200, you know, 200 plus a week. I mean, I was paying $100 a week.
And you told people at the food bank how much money you made,
Yes, sir.
and they
Let me see.
calculated it. And as a result of the calculation, you needed dependents in order to be eligible. Isn't that?
But as soon as we went in there, I filled out the application. And after I filled out the application, they basically gave me the food. I mean, it wasn't like a real long process or anything.
And that was the food that you and Mr. Scott were getting so that you could have a cookout that afternoon, except you took your portion to your home.
The meat, I was gonna use the meat.
So the meat that you got was taken to your home,
Yeah,
and it wasn't in the car that day.
he was gonna use his, sir.
Now, when SLED interviewed you days later, you cooperated?
Yeah, when they, yes, sir. I got a lawyer, and yes, sir, that's what happened.
And that would be Mr. Pepper?
Yes, sir.
And when they talked to you, did they encourage you to talk to the media to present your story?
No, sir, they never encouraged me to do anything.
Did they ask you the question, do we, SLED, have permission to release your name and contact information to the media?
Yeah, they asked me that question.
Because SLED wanted you to talk to the media.
No, I don't believe that that's what it was. They never said anything about that.
But there's no question that's the exact language they used. Do we, SLED, have permission to release your name and contact information to the media?
I mean, that was on the paperwork. I don't believe they were trying to get me to go out in the media. And I said no to the answer.
And your lawyer said no. But that's-
I wanted my lawyer to represent me and help me out on the situation.
Now, you had indicated that you had seen the phone that was in good condition, that is Mr. Scott's phone.
Sir, I just know the phone was black, sir. I don't remember if it was cracked or anything. You're saying good condition right now. Good condition is not if it's cracked.
Your testimony, not mine.
Sir,
Your testimony, I don't mean to testify on your behalf, but you didn't see the phone crack that day.
I did not see the phone cracked, sir.
Did you see Mr. Scott's watch broken that day?
I didn't see any of those things, sir.
And do you know anything about his wallet?
He had a wallet. We went to
Do you know
Hardee's.
anything about his clothing?
It was regular clothing. I think he had a green shirt and maybe like sweatpants on.
And was he wearing a hat?
Yes, sir, he had a hat. He had like the Cowboys, I think that was his Cowboys hat, I believe, like leather.
And your observations of the police officer at the time you watched and heard the police officer, did you see anything unprofessional on the part of the police officer?
No, sir, not at that time.
Do you remember Mr. Scott giving contradictory information about the ownership of the car and the whereabouts of the insurance car?
Not contradictory. I was kind of in my phone, but I understood about him trying to make a swap with his neighbor about the vehicle. So I think he was just trying to explain that his vehicle was down and, you know, he's about to work out a situation with his neighbor to get the car.
When Mr. Scott gave that explanation and wasn't able to give the documents that were requested, did the police officer get mad at him or say anything insulting to him, or did he act professional?
I just remember the police officer going back to his vehicle. He said something about, well, first you said this, and then he explained what he said.
Did he tell Mr. Scott why he stopped him?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Do you remember hearing the sound of the taser?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember hearing before you heard the sound of the taser as they ran down the street?
Running.
Do you remember the police officer warning Mr. Scott?
I've never heard
He
that.
was going to tase him, and he shouted out repeatedly, taser, taser.
I didn't hear that, sir.
Taser.
I did not hear that.
And was the window open?
Yeah, I believe the window was open, sir.
And you heard the taser, but not the warning?
No, sir. I don't know when. I don't know, like, how much times, you know, he tried to tase. I believe that he was running. He tried to shoot the taser. And from there on, I don't know what happened after that, sir. But I did not hear no yelling taser in the beginning.
Do you know what happened once they turned the corner on Craig Street?
No, sir.
Do you know how much time transpired before you heard the gunshot?
It was a little while.
And do you know what happened in between the running and the gunshot?
I didn't see that part, sir. I was inside the passenger seat. I mean,
I'm not answering any further questions that the prosecutor might have. Thank you, sir.
Leave that right.
Mr. Savage asked you about your request for a lawyer out there that day. You didn't trust the North Charleston Police Department, did you?
no, I did not.
And you wanted somebody that was on your side.
Yes, ma'am.
You took your phone,
Yes, ma'am.
never gave it back,
Yes, ma'am.
you did nothing wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have now.
Anything further?
We believe that that question has opened up an area that,
Anything further? Questions?
yes, so your lack of trust with the North Charleston Police Department based on previous arrests by the North Charleston Police Department, is that correct?
Jack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That has nothing to do with this situation here, sir.
Declaration.
The solicitor asked you if you trusted the North Charleston Police Department. And you said, no, you didn't. And that's why you needed a lawyer, because they had repeatedly arrested you for carrying a weapon, drugs, and all sorts of criminal activity. Isn't that correct? You didn't like the North Charleston Police Department because they had put you in jail.
Oh, wow. Sir, I have nothing against officers who do their job. Just do your job. I have a job to do. When I'm working, I do my job. You do your job, it's all good. You might protect my mother one day. You might protect, you know, my little sister. You might protect somebody that I know. But if somebody is running from you, you don't shoot them in the back.
Thank you.
You may step down, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll take a break at this time. Please go to the jury room. Please do not discuss the case. And those of you who have notebooks, they'll be collected, and they'll explain that process.